Start.
Mhm.
Hello, I'm Drowsy.
And
And
apparently I'm dopey.
yeah, there's my daughter Dopey. And we are here for Saturday Stitching. In case you can't tell, this is not going to be a particularly energetic Saturday Stitching.
You, I
and,
have coffee.
and so it begins. I have water with gross looking flavor enhancer in
Yeah,
it.
that color looks like kombucha.
Ew, that sounds nasty. I've never had kombucha, but I've heard what it is, and it just sounds like it'd be nasty.
I've had it before, but I can't have it if it's got stuff in it, like if it's got floaty things. If it's been like sifted, then I can drink it and it's not bad. And I've had another like fermented honey tea drink that's like similar to kombucha but not exactly the same thing, and it's carbonated and doesn't have anything in it,
Okay,
so that
okay, okay. I'm writing down kombucha. We can talk about it later
Oh yeah, already getting started.
on Sanders Gone Wild,
Dana's after dark.
Sanders After Dark. This, as I said, this is Saturday Stitching, where every day can feel like Saturday if your stitching is going well. But as you can tell, for me, this feels more like Monday because I haven't stitched a thing in a while. But I'm not going to go into that right now because we can go into that more on Saturday on other than stitching. Sandy's gone wild.
Dana's after dark.
We're just Let's just suffice it to say that I have been sick. And since I have been sick, I haven't stitched the doggone thing. I've looked at stuff. I looked at the yarn sitting over there beside me and thought, huh, must be nice.
That sounds
And
like
then,
me with trying to work out the last 3 weeks. I kept telling myself, the living room's clean. It just got straightened up. I totally have space to work out in there. And then I just promptly went to sleep.
bad girl. Oh, let me sit up straight. So I have, excuse me, if y'all don't like the sound of coughing, because I know there are people who watch YouTube videos who don't like eating, drinking, crinkling paper, whatever. I'm sorry. I've got a cough. This is the first day since the last video. I've literally been sick since I posted the last video. And this is the first day since that last video that I have been able to talk well enough to not go into a raging coughing fit. So, but there will still probably be a little bit of noise. Oh, and if you hate sucking, that's why I don't have my regular headset on because I didn't want to be sucking right into the microphone. But so basically that's the update for me. I don't have any stitching to show you. I have nothing cool to show you whatsoever. So I'm going to let my daughter Dopey over there take it away.
I
And
want to be another dwarf. Give me a different dwarf. Can I be, what's
what?
the, oh, what's the other one's name? I don't want to be grumpy.
No, I'm grumpy.
And I'm not sneezy either. What's the one that,
I
can I
was
just be
sneaky
Doc?
too.
Can I just be Doc? Isn't that one of the dwarfs' names, Doc?
I think so.
I'll just be Doc.
Well, people don't turn into this part to hear us ramble on. They want to see crafty stuff. So show some crafty stuff while I
All right.
pretend to get some knitting out.
I have watched the watching now go from 1 up to 3 and then back to 1. So someone did not appreciate us talking about dwarves apparently. Um
Either that or they heard me coughing and they said, I'm out.
All right. So, one of the big things that I've got right now is I just got the supplies for glitter tattoos and I'm so excited. So, I've got one on my arm right now. I can lean in and ooh, you can probably just barely, can you see that there?
Ooh.
Yeah,
I,
there, that one's fading. And then I colored in my permanent tattoo. Oh, I can't twist that way. You can just barely
yeah,
see
I
it.
get the general idea.
But I've got it looks a lot better on the I've got the TV the stream up on the TV. But I've got the supplies for them. So I've got 3 little glitter poofy bottles. And what I do is I take an adhesive that I've got. It's in this bag, and I don't feel like taking everything out. But I've got an adhesive in a bottle, and then I've got a bigger bottle with just water in it. And what I do is I put the adhesive in the smaller bottle, put a little fine point tip. Sorry, you're probably gonna see people walking around. We've got a friend staying at our place right now, and he and the boyfriend are home, so you're gonna see, and the dog is stuff is gonna happen. This is not very formal today.
We really don't care.
Oh,
This is let's say we're starting standards gone wild early because we really don't care.
Sanders went wild too soon. Oh, Nightingale says hello, ladies. Hello, Nightingale.
Hello, Nightingale. I'm sorry if I'm coughing in your ear.
So what I do is I take the adhesive and I put the design on with it's a very, very fine point. It's like a squeezy bottle with a very fine point, like needle tip or whatever. And so I pipe the design out onto the skin. And then I have to wait. It starts out white, and then once it dries, it goes clear, and it'll be really tacky. And then I take this bottle, the little tip comes off, and I just poof the glitter onto the design, and then you have a waterproof glitter tattoo that lasts. So whereas henna lasts like 2 to 3 weeks, the glitter tattoos only last like 3 to 5 days before they're like at the point where you might want to take them off or before they've already faded. Nightingale says it's okay that you're coughing in her ear. But I really like the glitter tattoos because, as we've said before, you and I don't really like choosing colors for things. So I got my choosing of colors out of the way early and just chose 3 colors. So I only have 3 colors to work with. I've got gold, blue, and fuchsia. And I'm like, that way I don't have to worry about, do I need to do green? Do I need to do... And a lot of that is like asking people what colors they want, because if people want specific colors, that takes that out. But if I'm working with like a little kid, it's either what's your favorite color, or do you want one color or all 3? Like it's not a lot of
silver.
Hmm?
Can you get silver?
I can. I just didn't because I have
Is it expensive?
Yes. So this is not just glitter. This is let me see if I can find something for size. Let's see, little shot glass for size. So that's how big that is. This is not just glitter, but biodegradable glitter. So it's not bad for the environment, which I know is one good for. It makes my conscience feel better because I didn't realize glitter was bad for the environment. So it makes me feel a little better that I am not just sprinkling glitter down the throats of poor sea turtles. And also, it's really good for just where I live, because the festivals and things I'm going to be doing is, as you said before, I live in the mountains with a bunch of hippies. So hippies are going to go for biodegradable glitter because it's better for the environment. It just like breaks down and stuff. But I don't know if you can read that little number there. Can you read that?
Yeah, I can read that. That's not too bad.
$8 for this bottle. That still, because if you see how much glitter comes out, like how, because there is a good bit of wastage just because there's only so much that you can put on. So I think I've done a bit better because at first when I was doing tattoos, it was like a bunch of glitter going everywhere, and I'm like, oh, I gotta figure this out. But now that I've worked on it a little bit, I can kind of conserve a bit of the glitter so there's not as much wastage, but there's still going to be like fall off wastage glitter that's stuck places that it's not supposed to be. That I have to end up wiping off later. But I've worked on it, so I'm doing a little bit better. And I found on the site that I got the glitter from, which is Henna Caravan, they have little spray poof bottles that, instead of like this one, because this one's just a squeezy bottle that I squeeze and it squirts out at the end of it, they have little spray bottles that like you push down the top and it sprays out like a mist, which from what I've heard, from what I've read on the henna page that I'm on Facebook, like reading about other people talking about it, that it is a lot better and there's a lot less wastage of glitter when you use that. So I'm thinking about trying to get some of those bottles. I just wanted to start off with the cheapest option because I didn't have as much money at the time. But I'm realizing now that just means a lot of wasted glitter. But
Continue. I had a thought. After you finish with the glitter, I want to mention something. Go ahead.
Okay. Are you going to remember what you were going to say?
Yeah, because it's right at my feet.
Okay. But what was I saying? Oh, so when I do the glitter, like if I'm doing it at home, then I can like do the glitter over a pan or something or over something that catches it. And then I can put that glitter back into a cup and then like use that same glitter on myself. Or if I'm
Uh-huh.
doing a customer, I can save it to use on myself. But it's not really sanitary to use that. So I can't like, even if I waste it, I can't, even if I catch it, I can't reuse it on another
Mm-hmm.
customer because
Mm-hmm.
it's not sanitary. So I've got a lot of glitter that I can use on myself again, but not on anyone else, which is a little frustrating. But I'm still figuring it out. It's super fun though. I'm thinking I'm gonna try to put some glitter like on my face sometime soon and see how that works out. See how like long it holds up because the adhesive is waterproof, but it breaks down with sweat, which is why you saw some spots missing on the one on my arm because I've been wearing this one for 4 days, I think. But I also take care of my tattoos really well just because I'm a henna artist. I take care of my henna tattoos very well, so I know what to do. Um, so I'm super excited about that. If you wouldn't mind actually to bring up the two pictures that I sent you, because this past Thursday, I was telling everybody about glitter tattoos, and my friend Chris is like, "So I need one now," and I was like, "Yes." So she wanted a quarter sleeve of glitter, and I was like, "I can totally do that." So I doodled out a little design, like a just a little like sketch of a design in my sketchbook,
Mm-hmm.
and ended up we sat down on Thursday and ended up doing it. It took about 2 hours, mostly because I had to wait for the adhesive to dry. Oh, we have someone else in the chat. Renan Ian, did I pronounce that right? Renan Ian, I think, and they say hello.
Well, hello,
So,
Ren. Have you watched
ooh,
Hey, I feel like I'm live. Let me drop in on somebody.
let's see. It looks like I've got some breaking up going
Either
on,
way,
but I can't tell if it's on my end or your end. I think it's on my end.
you do,
All
but
right.
that's okay. Either way, we're happy to
Yeah.
have you. I can't read the answer on the chat because I'm trying to bring
I'll read
people
it
in.
whenever.
What I was gonna say is that while I'm trying to bring, what I was gonna say is, I think that the glitter tattoos sound like something that would be really good for the summertime because it makes you want to. It just seems like something colorful and glitter seems like more of a summery thing
Yeah.
and something cute. If you're gonna, since it's waterproof, something cute that you
Yeah.
can
It's
wear
really good for like the beach and stuff like that.
for the beach. Yeah,
I'm going to.
and I think I would like you to do one on me for the cruise.
Yeah, I was gonna bring him. I was gonna bring him to do. I was gonna bring just a little bottle and like a sample of what I've got, and hopefully I'll have more colors by then because I think they have a green color that you might like if I can get it in biodegradableness. Let's see. Renan one asks, "Do you have TikTok?" and two says it's not perfect view, which I think they're referring to us breaking up. I do not have TikTok. I think I've like looked at a few different TikTok videos, but it just is not the platform that interests me at all because I have a really boring life. Like
Well,
I don't, I
I
don't
do
do.
not have TikTok because I don't know if we mentioned it on here or somewhere else, but I decided a while back that um, there is a line. There's new there's new digital things and social media things coming out all the time, and I feel like as we get older, there's a line that I probably need to draw and say, okay, I'm too old for this. I'm leaving the rest of this for the kids. And so I drew the line at Instagram.
What? Why would you do that?
I drew the line at Instagram, but then Ravelry, for a while, that was the only way to put up my pictures on Ravelry. So I went ahead and got an Instagram. So then I definitely drew a hard line at Snapchat. So anything Snapchat or after is for the kids younger than me.
I've had a
So
Snapchat before, but once again I don't talk to enough people. Um, I don't talk to enough people that I talk to on a daily. Like I have a few really close friends, and then my most of my close friends don't have Snapchat, and the few friends that I do have Snapchat, I'm like, I can just talk to you on Facebook. I don't do anything in my life that's enough for a Snapchat video. Like I don't. do it. Let's see. Nightingale says that's a beautiful tattoo. You did great. Thank you very much. And Renan says, I guess I can pay you for it. Are you talking about the tattoo? Because if you live in the area, I would definitely do it. Oh, and that's a close up of the key shape because it was in gold, so I had to take a couple different pictures to get the shot. Because my friend Chris is a very tan person, and so it was a little hard to catch the lighting in a good way. But I think I did an okay job of catching the lighting. I had a lot of fun with that. That's the first tattoo that I've done that was one that big, or glitter tattoos at least. That's the first one that I've done that was one that big and two that separated of colors. Because normally with the tattoos, especially like I just did one earlier with on a little girl. I did oh no, what did I do? On a little girl named Fiona, I did her hand, and it was a design that went from her middle finger up to like close to her wrist, but it was a really simple, like thin design. It wasn't like really thick, but I just did like a smooth transition of colors. So it started off blue on her finger and then faded to gold and then faded to a lot of pink. I did a lot of pink at the end because pink is her favorite color. So, but I just kind of transitioned the colors instead of doing like this part of the design is going to be this color. This, like these leaves of this flower are going to be this color. And then, so that was, I like the way that it looked though, because it looks very, I was trying to go for like a look of like an old picture frame or like filigree on like a window or something like that. So I feel like it turned out pretty well. Let's see. I'm trying to think of anything else that I need to talk about that's craft stuff. So I just recently found out because today's market day. I went to the farmer's market earlier today. I did okay. I didn't do the best. I only did about $15 today, which is still $15 I didn't have before. But I usually do a bit more. It was really surprising though, because we usually get more. We usually get more people coming through, and especially on a good day, because it was a really nice day outside, and there was like orientation or something going on campus. So usually whenever they go for their lunch break, we'll get more people in. But it was so slow today. Like I was sitting next to my friend Lori. She was saying that it was slow too. And I was like, what's going on? Where is everybody? Hello. Sorry, I normally see you walking behind me in the camera and I didn't see you. So I was like, who is
I saw him coming.
I did. I normally, because I have my little camera here and I normally see him. I did not see him. Man. But let's see. Oh, Nightingale says, Danny, I think you need a mod. And I think so too, which is why I did not read that last comment from Renan.
Yeah. I was thinking of that too.
But maybe we can get Chloe to do it. But so I did market. I only did about $15, but it's not too bad. And I normally, because as I mentioned here, I normally go over to the forest fair after I do market to hang out. And I owed her daughter a henna tattoo or a glitter tattoo. Because her birthday was last Saturday, I stopped by her party, but I didn't have time to do a tattoo because I had another birthday party that actually had to work that Saturday. So I told her that I would give her a tattoo the next Saturday, which would be today. But I went down there and her shop was closed. And so I checked her Facebook page to see like, oh, why is the shop closed today? Is everything okay? Her son jumped off of a swing and broke both of his wrists. Oh. And so, yeah, so he is he was in the ER last night. I'm not sure if they're still in the hospital or if they have casted him up and come home yet. But yeah, and she put the x-rays on Facebook and everything, and it was awful. But funnily enough, coincidentally, no, I don't know. You figure out which word I mean after I tell you what happened. So I just found out that happened. Then I went to the shop to visit Wayne at the burrito shop that he works at and found out that their owner's son also just broke his wrist like 3 days ago. And so I was like, what's with all these kids breaking their wrists? What's going on? Is it going around? But y'all are chatting over here and I can see it, but no need to read it out loud, I guess. If you guys want to know what's going on, just read the chat. But so that was pretty good. But while I was at market, so I was going to do the Mermaid Festival. You remember I was telling you about that? And I turned in my application too late, so I wasn't able to do the Mermaid Festival because they have their application process set up so that you have to it's set up in a way that you can't fill it out like a Google form. You would have to print out the application, fill it out, and then scan it and turn it back in or mail it to them. And I'm like, I don't own a printer, and anytime that I am available to go to the public library is closed. So I had no chance to print it, and so I had a friend of mine go and print it off and like bring it to me at work, which was so nice of her because she was like she happened to be driving by, so she printed it out for me and brought it to me at work, and I filled it out, but I filled it out too late, so they didn't have any spaces. So I told my friend Janelle that while I was at market today, and she and her husband were talking because she and her husband have a button business where they like make buttons and they can like let kids. They have a little setup so that kids can like color in a little circle and make little buttons of their drawings, which is so adorable. But rude, you were talking about me. I can read the chat. Stop talking about me in the chat. Anyway.
Continue.
Anyway, she and her husband talked because they're doing the Mermaid Festival as well. But as the Mermaid Festival, like down the road from where everything's gonna be set up, they're gonna be having like water stuff going on, like slip and slides and like water things playing. And so they wanted to be able to play with the girls. And so they found out that I wasn't gonna be able to do the festival. So they are thinking about letting me do glitter tattoos at their table. They're gonna get back to me about this, but they're thinking about letting me do glitter tattoos at their table. And in exchange, I'm going to watch their table for 2 hours so that they can go and play with their girls, which is
cool.
super awesome. Yeah, because my glitter tattoos don't really take up that much space. So I would I would literally just be taking a corner of their table. I'd just have to bring my own chair so I can sit down and everything would be fine. I'll bring a little sign to set up. Like my little chalkboard sign. But so hopefully that goes over well because I really wanted to do the Mermaid Festival and I feel like glitter tattoos would go over really well because there's gonna be a lot of people going in costume and things like that. And so the glitter, like I could do glitter like scales or like mermaid scales or something like that. Man, I need to learn how to draw mermaids because I can't draw people. I hate drawing people. It's gonna like if everybody shows up and they're like, I want a mermaid, man, I'm gonna get maybe 3 tattoos done in the 5 hours that festival is supposed to be going on. I can't draw people. But so that's really exciting. And I think that's all I have as far as craft stuff. The only other, or as far as like tattooy body art craft stuff, the only other craft thing that I have is an update on Project Deadbug, you guys. So excited. So I'm gonna start really. If you guys don't like bugs, I'll warn you when to look away. So I just got in the mail these adorable little bottles. I've got about 12 of them. Bottles. Yeah, they're little cork bottles. Oh no, I think I just lost the cork. It flew off. There it is. It just like flew right off. But they're cute little bottles. But I had to go searching on Amazon because I needed something that was this size. I have some, and then I know down at the Forest Fair Cree has some, but they're a good bit smaller and the opening is narrower. And I need something that I can fit bugs into. I also ordered some pipettes that I'm going to show you as soon as I figure out where the hole is in this bag. So I ordered some pipettes. I don't know if you can even see that. They're little with the bulb there. Pipettes. I don't know how to pronounce it. I've heard people say both. They're the thing. Because
I love the pipettes.
Are they pipettes or are they pipettes? What are they called? What are they? Because I know that you're being funny, but I'm not. What are they called?
I love the pipettes.
I'm over this. I bought little squeezies. But I only needed like 5 or so because I'm going to use them to once I put the hand sanitizer in the bottle, there's going to be a bunch of bubbles, and so I'm going to use the squeezy to go in and suck the bubbles out so that it's clear hand sanitizer. But I only needed like 5, and the cheapest pack that I could find on Amazon was this many.
Oh my goodness!
This is 100.
How much did it cost for 100 of those?
Like $6.
Well, it didn't cost that much, but you better find a bunch of things to do with them.
That's what I'm saying. I don't need that many, but my friend Bryn, I just found out my friend Bryn also preserves insects in bottles. She's doing it basically the same way I am, but she's using screw top bottles, and she's not turning hers into jewelry. Hers are just decoration that she's selling at the tattoo parlor that she works at. So I'm gonna, because the way that she gets her bubbles out is that she boils the hand sanitizer. You put it in a like double boiler and then sit the bottles in there, and then it like heats up and gets rid of all the bubbles. I don't trust myself not to burn myself doing that. So because these are real little bottles, and if you get water in the hand sanitizer, it messes everything up, and I don't want to. So I don't trust myself to do that. So I'm gonna use the pipettes, and I'm gonna give her a few if she wants them. And if you say pipettes one more time,
I'm
stop.
not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it.
So I've got these, and then I actually have some pugs here, guys, because they're normally in my freezer in my kitchen, right through that wall there. But I brought some out so I could be working on them. So I'm gonna try to show you. I'm gonna try to show them to you. The problem is here. I'll show you this one first. Let's see if we can. Oh, can you see it?
Yes, I can see it.
It's a little wasp in hand sanitizer. I put it in hand
Luckily, the
sanitizer ahead of
viewers
time.
cannot see up my nose as I'm scrunching and leaning toward the monitor.
So I've got this is a little wasp because I decided to do a few wasps first so that because I've got like 5 or 6 more wasps in my freezer right now. So if I accidentally mess up a few wasps, it's not a big deal because I've got so many more because I have apparently just become that person that when people see bugs, they catch them and bring them to me. I am slowly coming to terms with the fact that I'm a bug collector now, and I don't know how I feel about it. But
You need to narrow your interest down, girl.
I really do. Well, this is still within the interest of jewelry because I'm still turning them into jewelry. It is just a different kind of jewelry. Because
Okay.
yes, I need to narrow my interest, but I also want to be able to offer people things that they can't just find everywhere. Not many people make bug jewelry. I want to be able to do because like even
Don't
though I
you
live in
think there
Asheville,
might be a reason for that?
because people don't want to deal with catching bugs. I understand, but
Because bug jewelry is gross and
no,
weird.
man. I was talking to somebody in the drive-through today, or 2 days ago. I say today, 2 days ago. I was at McDonald's, and oh, that's where I work. I've been trying not to say where I work, but I work at McDonald's. I'm sorry. I was in the drive-through, and I had a one of my friends caught a wasp for me, and it was in a clear cup, and so I just left the cup beside me because I was going to bring it home to put it in the freezer for et cetera, et cetera. So it was sitting in there, but he was like buzzing mad. So he was just like flying all around the cup and like crawling all over the place. And so I was like taking their money in the back cash, and they were like, you have a wasp in that cup, right? And I was like, yeah, I put them in there on purpose. I turned them into jewelry. And they're like, what? That's badass. And I'm like, thanks, it's real cool. And they're like, oh, sweet. Let us know, do you have, and I didn't have any cards on me at the time. And so I did have cards on me. So I gave them one of my cards. I didn't have cards on me yesterday, but 2 days ago, I gave them one of my cards. And the guy, because it was a guy and a girl, and the guy said that the place that he works at, there's like an air conditioning heater unit or something in a corner of one of the rooms, and there's a bunch of dead wasps on top of it, dead like preserved wasps on top of it. And he said that he's going to try to get them and bring them to me. And I'm like, what? Thank you so much. So I'm trying to because I have now a bunch of people that like anytime they see a cool bug that is dead and not like completely crushed or destroyed, they're bringing me bugs. And so I'm trying to figure out one, I need to figure out a better way to store them. It's not my freezer, or I just need to start going through them like more quickly. Two, I want to be able to offer something to these people for bringing me bugs. I'm probably going to make like wasp things since I have a bunch of them and they're a lot easier to get because they're just flipping everywhere. Um, so I was thinking about like everybody that brings me something, giving them a wasp necklace, but I don't know how much like I don't know how much money I would lose by doing that, or if I should try to
Yeah.
do something else. Because I really want to. Because like I've had like Cree down at the forest fair, like 5 of the bugs that I have in my actually 7 of the bugs that I have in my freezer right now are from her at her shop, where she'll like if a wasp comes in, if a bee comes in, she'll try to shoo it out like a bumblebee because she's got a bunch of like big old bumblebees outside the door that like don't really sting anybody. They just kind of float around. And so if a bee comes in, she'll try to shoo it out. Like if most bugs come in, she'll try to shoo it out. But if she has to kill it, she always tries to kill it in a way that she can give it to me. And so I have a lot of bugs from her because they just kind of wandering because it's hot and she leaves the door open. And then I have had my manager at work has saved spiders for me. I've had like a couple of my friends, they work down at the Y and they work with kids, and their kids will find like dead butterflies and stuff on the ground, and they'll like pick them up and bring them to me. So I have a lot of people that are bringing me things, and I want to be able to give them something back, but I also don't want to lose a ton of money doing that. Like I want to give it to them because I really do appreciate it. Do you get what I'm saying?
Oh, I get what you're saying. I totally get what you're saying.
Okay, because I don't
So
want to
I
sound
think you
like
kind of want
selfish.
to. I think you kind of want to pick and choose. Like the people in the drive-through bringing you some bugs. That's one thing. But like Cree at the Forest Fair, she's done other stuff for you,
Hmm.
not just bringing you bugs. So you
Yeah.
probably should make her a necklace because she has done other stuff for you.
Yeah, and once I
Um,
make the necklaces, she's going to put them in her shop to sell as well. Like
well,
some of
see,
the
yeah, you
necklaces
have
I
a
made.
big connection there with her, so you should go ahead and make something for her.
Okay.
Hey, Dopey,
What?
what's that on top of your head?
Oh, this, why, oh, this just happens to be a scarf that my mama had made me, like a
And
year and a
who's
half
your mama?
ago. The person that I'm talking to on this, the person on the other end of this video chat.
And what is that called?
A rosy scarf?
A rosy wrap.
Rosy wrap. Man, I was so close. You only said it once earlier. I was really lucky that I remembered the
And
rosy part.
and who's the pattern by?
No, I'm not gonna remember that. That's a name that it's a name of a person that I just don't know. This bit is over. We've ended it. I got nothing.
That is a rose. I can't remember. I think when I made that, I wasn't doing videos. So I probably have not showed that. And I don't think I've showed it on Instagram either. But it's a rosy wrap and it's made from red heart blue camo and the
Because
red
you
heart
all about that red
yarn.
heart camo.
Yep, I'm all about the red heart camo. The person who wrote the pattern is Randy from Randy's. Now, see, I'm gonna say it wrong. Is it Randy's Rambling or Rambling Randy's?
I think I think you said Randy's rambling before because I've heard you say
I
this
just
person's name
watched
before.
one of her videos today, and I still can't. And I used to watch her videos regularly, and I can't remember.
Let's see.
But yeah,
Nightingale says she's waiting for her yarn to arrive. Oh, did you order something on Amazon? Is that a
now
thing?
she might have ordered some yarn from Randy because Randy hand paints
Oh.
yarn.
Oh. Oh, that's
And she
cool.
does and I must admit, um this is bad of me.
Ooh.
Yeah, this goes against. See, i
You
i have the unpopular hot takes in the crafting community, and one of them is I used to watch Randy a lot, and I still like her a lot, but I have a thing when somebody gets up. This is awful. But when somebody gets up around where they have 3,000 followers, or even if you get up to where you have 1,000 followers, you don't need me to watch you anymore.
I could
So,
see that.
I watch random Randy's ramblings. Thank you, Nightingale. There was another R word in there that I just could not remember to
Oh,
save my life. But when I was watching Randy's videos on the regular, we
does she
used to
do?
we used to joke back and forth about Red Heart camo because I had a thing for Red Heart camo for a while. I made that hat
Mhm.
in the original camo, and then they came out with like a blue camo and a pink camo, and she was doing stuff in pink camo for a while. And so we used to just joke back and forth in her comments about the camo. But like I said, I haven't watched it. I watched one of her videos today, and it was the first one that I had watched in a while because she kind of got into a lot of stuff like with the hand painted yarns and the project bags, and I'm not real interested in that stuff.
Mhm.
And she makes a lot of amigurumi, and I
Ooh,
don't want to
Amber.
make those. But also, she so I follow her on Instagram. Those people, the people that I stop watching their videos, I do follow them on Instagram if they have an Instagram. So
Mhm.
I'm not totally excuse me, I'm not totally ditching them. It's just I maybe it's my insecurities or whatever, but I've always been like this even before the internet. If somebody has a lot of friends, then they don't need me to be a friend. I mean, I'll be there for them if they need something, but like they don't need me to hang out with and stuff because they got a lot of friends, so they don't need me, and they don't have time to hang out with me. So, and that's probably why I don't have a lot of friends because as soon as somebody has a lot of other friends and a lot of other commitments and stuff, I don't hang out with them as much.
I can kind
And
of understand that.
that has translated into the internet world, especially with YouTube. If you're somebody who has 3,000 followers, you're not going to notice my comment. So I comment on the people, I watch the people who only have like 50 people watching them or 100 people watching them. And I give them comments to encourage them and let them know that somebody's watching
Yeah.
and that they're doing a good job and stuff. But then once they get plenty of the people that I started out watching when they only had 100 people, like Ella and No Catchy Name and Terry,
Mhm.
Terry, her channel's called Yarn Joy, and Randy. I started out with those three early when they only had 100 people, and now they all have over 1,000 people watching them. So they don't need to hear from me.
I feel the same way when it comes to live streams, not so much when it comes to YouTube videos. Like I don't normally comment on YouTube videos unless it's something that I very like I feel like I need to say this thing. But I don't normally comment on YouTube videos because I watch big YouTubers like oh hang on, let me read these comments before I forget. Let's see. Nightingale says you're welcome, and she said she won one of Crystal's giveaways.
I'm trying
Um,
to remember which crystal she's talking about. I don't know what the channel name
so
is.
Nightingale, which Crystal are you talking about? And then she said, I started YouTube to make friends that have the same interests as I do. I'm shocked that people want to follow me. I feel the same way on like Instagram. Whenever I have people follow me on Instagram, I'm like, why are you? Am I really that like? How do you find me? Bag a day.
Oh yeah, yeah. I see. I didn't know what Bag of Day's real name was. So
Bag a day's name is
and
Crystal.
I'm surprised that you're here watching us, Nightingale, because doesn't Bag of Day do a live stream on Saturdays around this time right now? And she has like 35,000 people watching her.
Well, maybe she feels the same way you do, and she likes when people can directly talk back to them. That's how I feel about live streams. On YouTube videos, I'll watch it, but I don't know how to comment. On live streams, if a person in a live stream has a bunch of followers, I'm like, because part of the reason that I love watching live streams is I feel like I can, like, I enjoy your content and I can talk directly to you if I'm
Yes.
watching a live stream. So, like, one of my favorite live streams to watch is oh, why have I totally forgotten her name? Yvonne Williams with Back to Earth Creations. I love watching her live streams because she does have several followers, but like she and her husband try their best to get to all the comments, and she doesn't have. It's not like sometimes when you're watching a live stream, you'll look at the comment section and it's just like and just a bunch of
Yeah.
comments going by, and theirs doesn't do that. They might miss your comment every once in a while, but they try their best to answer all the questions and stuff. And because she's a crafter that does a lot of the things that I do, I feel like I can ask, hey, I'm having issue with this wire thing. Do you have any suggestions? Hey, I'm going to a festival and this is happening. What do you think I should do? Or have you had this experience before? So like I like watching her live streams because I feel like I can actually talk to a creator that I look up to, that I like want to try to emulate. But watching other live streams and it's like I don't know. It's just frustrating because, like, watching Jenna Marbles, I love watching Jenna Marbles, but I don't like watching her live streams because her other videos, yes, they're very informal, they're very her doing whatever she wants, but they're also polished. She edits them. She's not just leaving in a bunch of extra like yada yada stuff. Whereas in the live streams, she'll be mid thought and someone will like subscribe to her on Twitch or something, and so she will stop that to say thank you, and then she could lose her train of thought where I was like, I wanted to hear what you were going to say there, or like
Uh,
it keeps getting interrupted by people in the comments, and there's like and people saying ridiculous things and like inside jokes that I don't get, and like and a bunch of you know what I mean.
yeah, yeah.
So that's
And I
why I
feel,
don't go ahead.
I also feel like the live streams are since this is other than stitching, I mean since this is Saturday stitching where we're talking about crafty live streams in particular. I used to watch Twitch, the creatives. is what they call the category where people are doing stuff that's like not gaming. And there are people
Hmm.
on there who are knitting or crocheting or whatever. But I feel like if I'm not contributing, if I'm not sending you a donation, then I don't have anything to say.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times those chat rooms in those live streams feel like everybody is going, me, listen to
Yeah.
me. I want to hear you say my name on the video.
Yeah.
Me. And I feel like I'm just another one of those people going, ooh, ooh, ooh,
Pay
you
attention to me.
know.
Pay attention to me. Yeah.
And I don't like that feeling. I
Notice me,
like
send.
like there are times where I feel like it would be nice if we had, a bunch of people in this live stream right now watching this.
Mhm.
But at the same time, it's nice that we have the same three people who show up here because I can talk to them and I remember what we said to them last week.
Yeah.
And I can remember to go watch their videos later,
Mhm.
and I feel like I kind of know a little bit about who they are.
I remember that Nightingale lives in Tennessee.
If we, yeah, because I keep thinking she lives in Alaska, but no, I'm not going to forget now because I watched her video the other
Mhm.
week. She was talking about how she lives like an hour away from where they have the Bonnaroo Music Festival, so I will never
Oh,
forget.
okay. Oh, yeah. We were talking about that before too.
So, but yeah, I mean, having a few people, sometimes I feel sorry for myself that we don't have a bunch of people watching these videos. But again, I know that I'm not one of those people who does the same things that everybody else does on their videos.
Mhm.
Like I don't have I'm sitting here, you see what I'm working on.
Hmm.
Still working on the t-shirt. Although you might be able to see this is what's going to pass for stitching content on here. If you can see,
Is that your marker from last time, or what's going on?
no, I was trying to show you if you can see the texture is different.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing seed stitch.
Oh, is that for the little border?
That that's the bottom. Yeah, that's the bottom of the hem of the sweater.
Meanwhile,
So,
I'm trying not to set my clothes on fire.
so which I don't know if it's going to be big enough now because your sister was to be polite, let's say your sister was a different size when I started this sweater.
Man, going to college and that nasty college food that I feel you. I got you, girl.
Freshman 15.
Man, that was like freshman 35 for me. Pizza every day.
Nightingale says that she is dreading Bonnaroo. I'm guessing that even though you're an hour away, you probably get a bunch of traffic and everything else around. And she says she usually hasn't watched Bag Day's stream because there's too many people. Yeah, I tried watching Bag Day's stream once, and that's the other thing. I'm not a very commercial person. So some of the people that I started out watching, and no offense to them, because if you got a side hustle,
You get yours.
you go ahead and work your side hustle. Get your bag, as the kids say.
Get your
But
bag. Is that what the kids say?
that's what the kids say. Get your bag.
All right.
But
I'm going to interrupt your regularly scheduled programming to tell you that I am now about to transfer the wasp into this bottle that I filled halfway with hand sanitizer. I got all the bubbles. Look how crystal clear that is. I thought it was
I
going to be a
say
lot harder.
not a bubble in sight.
I thought it was going to be a lot harder. There are like maybe 5 or 6 micro bubbles in there, but I'm not dealing with that. So I'm about to transfer my wasp buddy. But what I was going to say before, I totally forgot. So this wasp, you could see when I showed you the cup. So look at this one now. You see how it looks frosted?
Yeah.
Whenever I put this in here, I put it in here with this exact same hand sanitizer, clear hand sanitizer, and
Uh-huh.
it clouded up, and I don't know why. And then just now, when I put the hand sanitizer in this bottle, once again, clear hand sanitizer, I dripped it in there, and then I turned it over on the side, and there was a cloudy spot right there, and I sucked it up in the little squeezy that I'm not calling by the other name because I don't want you to talk about it anymore, and I can see the spot in there. I just don't know what makes it
Makes it
cloudy,
cloudy.
and I'm really worried. I'm really worried about that because the whole point of the glass bottles is to be able to see the bug in there. And so I'm
Yeah.
really afraid that I'm going to put it in there and not be able to see it. I don't know what to
Well,
do.
the only way you're gonna know is once you do it.
Well, here we go because I'm about to transfer
Yeah.
it. I'm thinking maybe if I suck up the extra, because there's cloudy stuff in here with this other one as well towards the bottom. I'm thinking maybe if I suck up some of the hand sanitizer that's in here around it, I can get rid of the cloudy stuff.
Well, while you're doing that, Nightingale says that she eats too much pizza, but I've seen how thin you are, Nightingale. I don't think you have to worry about that. We used to eat a lot of pizza too. We got to a point where we were eating pizza practically every Friday night, ordering pizza, and we've kind of backed off of that partly because husband and I are. Um, hey, Vicky,
Oh, hey, we got Vicky in here.
the chat. You're not terribly late, and that just reminds me, Vicky. I never set my timer, so I don't know how long we've been sitting here. We could have been here forever. Who knows?
Right.
Because I don't see Nair counter on here.
So that's so weird. Along with the so Vicky, you missed. I am in the middle of working on things for Project Deadbug. Hopefully you know what that is. Um, so Nightingale says I'd add water to dilute the hand sanitizer. I would do that. I will finish my thought in just a moment, Vicky. I would do that, but if I add water to it, it can cause problems because the hand sanitizer is gel. So if I add water, one, it could start to break down the gel, and the whole point of having it as a gel is so that the bug will float in the bottle. And two, if I add water to it, it could. I'm using hand sanitizer because the alcohol in the hand sanitizer keeps it preserved. And if I dilute it, it's already at 70% alcohol. So if I dilute it anymore, the bugs could still start to break down in the water hand sanitizer mix. And that just looks nasty. And we don't want any of that. I want like a nice preserved insect that like is just like a piece of art, not like some. I know it's macabre, but I don't want to get that macabre. But so Vicky, I am in the middle of Project Deadbug, which is me taking preserved insects that I'm showing once again to the screen. Me taking these preserved, this is a wasp that I caught at McDonald's, I believe, and putting them into these little glass vials to then wrap with wire to wear on necklaces. But I'm finding that so the hand sanitizer that got cloudy is a lot thicker than the hand sanitizer that I just squeezed out of the bottle. Because I was just pulling hand sanitizer out of this vial, so I know how smooth it was, and it's not coming out as smoothly from the little shot glass. And I don't understand why. It's like, okay, mommy, you know the consistency of hand sanitizer, right? Think of that.
Did you just call me mommy?
Yes, because you're my mom.
We're supposed to act like adults.
Like what? Like we're sisters or something?
You're supposed to call me Danny.
No. So think of the consistency of hand sanitizer. Now think of that instead of being that like consistency, and think of it as the consistency of like Eco Styler gel.
Yep.
It went real thick, and I don't understand why.
Well, I can't help you there because I don't know. Vicky is the perfect person to be in this chat, however, because Vicky is a multidisciplinary artist, as the artsy fartsy people in Asheville would say. She does stuff other than stitching. I mean, she stitches, but she does other stuff too. Like she did, I watched her cover a wig head with, um, was it book pages? I think she covered that wig head with.
Well, that's cool.
Okay, Vicky says, "How's the moth in the freezer?"
Still frozen, still looking pretty good. It's still got all its color, which is awesome. I now have a dragonfly, the moth, a butterfly, 4 spiders, 6 wasps, not including the 3 that I have sitting beside me, and I had something else, and a hornet, a stink bug, and a fly.
So you said the moth is still in the freezer?
Yeah, because I wanted. That's why I'm using the wasps. Because like with this, where they're getting cloudy, I'd like to learn that with something like a wasp. That one I hate anyway, and two I have a lot of, so I can waste it if something goes wrong. Wasps are just assholes. So if something goes wrong, I won't feel bad throwing away a wasp. But that moth is really pretty. It's a nice it's pink and it's a pink and cream color. It looks like cotton candy, and so or like sherbet. And so I want to be able to do that right the first time.
Uh-huh.
So it's still it's still chilling in the freezer right now.
That's kind of how I feel about yarn, some of the yarn I have. Like most of the yarn I have from the box that keeps on giving, like we like I've mentioned many times before. I really need to stop messing with my hair. I've like I've said many times before, that's yarn that I didn't buy. It's not yarn I ever would have picked. I know from the some of it is still labeled, so I know that it's pretty much red heart or like the cheapest yarn, so I don't feel so bad. But I do have yarn that I bought at like the normal price,
Mm-hmm.
not with a discount coupon or anything else.
Yeah.
And most knitters who, compared to crocheters, here's my hot take, gonna be rude again. Compared to crocheters, a lot of knitters can be yarn snobs, and so they might not, what is considered special yarn to me may not be special yarn to them because you can get it at Michael's. But like I still have a ball of Lion Brand Heartland that I made your sister. I had bought 2 balls, and it took 1 ball to make your sister a cowl, which she probably has thrown in a box somewhere. But because she never wears anything I make her. But I I loved working with that yarn so much. And I have the other ball still sitting, and it's been sitting there for over a year. And it was like, I mean, I think I held on to it for 2 years when I bought it. And then I finally made something out of it. And now I still have 1 ball left. And but to me, that's like special yarn. I don't want to mess that up. Okay, wait a minute, you're showing something. Let me switch the
Yeah.
screen.
I'm trying to hold it very delicately and also not drop it on the laptop. So
Ew.
this is the wasp. That's just covered in hand sanitizer. It's cloudy hand sanitizer for whatever reason, but it's just chilling there covered in hand sanitizer. I'm about to put them in the bottle and
And
hopefully
you
not.
need a manicure.
I do. I need to just. I'm waiting for the polish that I have to grow out, and then I'm just gonna get my nails done again. Oh, I didn't anticipate this. My pliers are too short. They're too stubby to reach into the bottle.
You have tweezers?
I don't, because I don't take care of myself like a normal human being.
Well, if you had the goatee that I'm growing down here, you would have tweezers.
Uh, okay. The pipette, which I didn't want to
I
say
love
again,
the
but
pipettes.
it happened to be just long enough for me to be able to reach in and readjust things. I'm going to get another pipette that's not filled with weird clouded substance, though.
Because you've got 100 of them, so you can
Yeah.
afford to do that.
But here he is, chilling in his little bottle.
Weird.
It's got the cloudy stuff on it, though. I've got to reach in and try to get rid of all that.
Yeah, Vicky says she's noticed the yarn snob thing too. Yeah, I said that I was gonna not mention these kind of things, and then I figure, I have 3 people who watch my videos,
Let's
so
just talk straight. Sit
so
crooked and talk straight.
I can say what I'm gonna say. It's not like I'm gonna offend anybody anyway. This is the way I look at these videos because I used to get all stressed out about doing these videos, and the way I look at these videos now is this is me and my daughter hanging out, and if y'all want to eavesdrop, y'all can.
Hmm.
But
Y'all
that's how it's going. But yeah, I didn't. I kind of knew that knitters when I first got into the knitting community. I didn't realize there was a bunch of crocheters online. It was mostly knitters, and this was over 20 years ago. This was like 20, 25 years ago when
Mhm.
you were little.
When I was 1 years old.
When you were little, when I started finding knitters and crocheters online and started buying magazines and stuff like that, because I think I have, I'm trying to see if I have any magazines up here. Because I know from looking at the dates on my oh, I can look on Ravelry, sure. I know from looking at the dates on my magazines how long ago it was, because that's when I first discovered that there were knitting magazines, and that's when I really started um, getting involved with people online. Okay, where are my books? Okay, here it is.
I'm more excited than I should be about this. Now that the wasp is actually in the jar, I feel like a lot easy. It's a lot easier to handle because it's in the jar. I'm holding a glass jar and a pipette. I'm not actually having to touch the thing or grab it because I didn't even like grabbing it with the pliers. I picked it up to show it to the screen, but just even grabbing it with the pliers kind of makes my skin crawl. But now that it feels like a whole separate a separate endeavor. It feels like I'm not actually having to deal with a bug, and so it's a lot easier to do.
I don't know why.
I don't either.
Excuse me. I don't know why you are even bothering to do
Because they
this
look so
when
cool.
you're so skeeved out by bugs.
Maybe I'm just trying to be a brave girl.
Maybe.
Maybe I'm just trying to make some money. Who are you to poo poo on my side hustle?
Whatever.
I'm going to, what'd you say earlier? Make that bag?
That's right. You're trying to get your bag.
But what bag are we talking about? Is it a money bag?
Yes, it's a bag of money. What good are you? Okay, judging from my magazines, it was roughly 1999, 98 or 99 that I really started getting heavy into the online community. So
I
you were
was
about
6 years
four.
old. 6?
Whatever.
How old do you think I am?
You're darn near 30.
Let's see. Nightingale says, trying to get over your fear. Yes, I'm trying. It's not working out very well. I've caught a few bugs at McDonald's myself, but man, there was this big old wasp that flew in there the other day. And I was like, I went and I had a cup in a lid, a cup in one hand, lid in the other hand. And I went and I was like, Jared, come help me. I couldn't do
You're
it.
so
I
weird.
couldn't.
You're so weird. But yeah, but what I was saying about the yarn snob thing is that when
Yeah.
I first, back in the late 90s, when I first started getting back into stitching, because I learned how to stitch back in the 80s as a kid from books, pre-internet. And when I discovered the online community, this was before Facebook, before all of that, where there was just listservs and stuff like that. People would talk about going to their local yarn shop, and I didn't think anything of it at that time because there weren't any yarn shops really here that I could go to that I knew of. So the only place to buy yarn was Red Heart or Michael's, and that wasn't that much of a big deal. I
Mhm.
thought that was where you always bought yarn, and if you were in a big city, you had a yarn shop, whatever. And then once Ravelry came around, and and YouTube came around 10 years ago, and you started seeing people um, make videos and stuff like that. That's when I started really realizing the extent of, oh, it's not just that these people live in big cities and can get to a yarn shop.
It's
It's
that they
that
got money.
they think that Red Heart is crappy yarn and Lion Brand is crappy yarn, and they're too good to use that. And that if you care about whoever, then you would make them something out of natural fibers or hand spun yarn or whatever. But and it's only been in the last, but I never, the few times that I knew people who crochet, like when you meet grandmas around here locally who crochet, crochet is more popular. You're more likely to meet somebody who crochets around here than somebody who knits. And even when you meet somebody who crochets, it's usually a grandma, which, considering I'm old enough to be a grandma myself, but I think of people older than me.
Yeah.
But anyway, crochet just is more down to earth, I guess. And when I started seeing videos from people who crochet, because it used to be just the knitters making videos and writing blogs, and there wasn't, at first when Ravelry came out, there wasn't a bunch of crochet on Ravelry, it was just knitting. And because I, again, like I was talking about having a Twitter account for over 10 years, I was an early adopter jumping onto to Ravelry. If I remember my number, I think I was in the first 1,000. Um, I forget how to look up the number, but I feel like I was in the first 1,000. I was on the waiting list, but and now that I see crocheters more in videos and stuff like that, and hear them themselves talking, crocheters do tend to be a little more down to earth, and I think part of it, as far down to earth, as far as there's no shame in their game as far as going to Walmart and getting Red Heart
Mm.
or Lion Brand or Bernat, those yarns that knitters think they're too good to put their hands on. And I think part of it is because crochet eats up a lot of yarn. And
Oh,
and until recently, I mean, it takes more yarn to do a crochet stitch. It takes like 3 times as much yarn to do a crochet stitch as it does to do a knit stitch. And until recently, a lot, in my opinion, another hot take, most of the patterns in the 70s and the 80s for like crocheted garments were butt ugly. Okay.
yeah.
They were very chunky and just, they were not attractive. Now, if you go back and look at vintage patterns from the 40s and 50s, you can find some crochet patterns that are sophisticated, but the, the stuff that was available to me in the 70s, that were created in the 70s and 80s, they were some chunky monstrosities. And so the
Time
only
out.
thing, the only thing that I felt crochet was fit for was, okay, I think I lost my child. Yeah, because that's okay, that's me. So I think I lost my child. So I'm gonna keep on talking while I try to call her again. Um, but let's see what's in the chat room while I'm trying to call her again. Let's see. Let's see what we've got here. Okay. Let's see. The hard thing, Nightingale says, the hard thing for me to do is find out what to make with it. I have that trouble too, Nightingale, trying to figure out what I'm actually going to make with my yarn. Excuse me, because for the most part, I buy yarn per project, and that's why the yarn that I have right now.
Am I back?
Welcome back, Dopey.
Okay, yeah, it froze. Like, at first your video froze, and then I was like, oh, well, I can still hear her. And then everything stopped, and I was like, oh no.
Well, I'm going to do a little attention. Well, while you're getting your camera situated, I'm going to
Nope.
switch the view here so everybody doesn't have to see your living room.
Yeah, working on it. Um,
I'm going
did
to
you go
check
back and
the
read the
chat room
chat?
yeah, I'm going to check the chat room while you
Okay.
get yourself situated.
I gotta figure out where to put my camera.
Vicky said something about putting a bug in a paperweight. That's a good idea. I've seen stuff like that before. I was thinking a bug in a keychain myself.
Ooh, if I can get resin, I could do that because these bottles are glass. So if you put it on a keychain and that keychain goes knocking onto something, you're gonna
Yeah.
have just a dead bug laying out in your stuff. But if I can get a hold of some resin that I can use, then I would definitely put some in resin and use on the keychain. It's just hand sanitizer is a lot cheaper than resin.
Nightingale says that she has a her yarn shop was a small store called Janie's sewing store or Janny's sewing store, other than Walmart and Kmart. Yeah, I remember when Kmart used to. Kmart has gone off and on selling yarn for a long, long time ago because I have some yarn dating back to the '70s that still has the price tag on it out in my shed that came from Kmart. So I know Kmart used to sell, and I think right now either Kmart or Target. Is it Target? I think it's I think I'm thinking of the Target yarn. So I don't think Kmart has yarn right now, but they've gone off and on over the years where they sell it and then they don't sell it.
Mm-hmm.
And Nightingale asked if I saw the poncho she posted on Instagram. I I think I did. I don't know 100%, and I don't have my phone that I can look at Instagram on is charging right now.
So while you're doing that, Nightingale, I'm going down towards the bottom of the chat section. Nightingale says our Kmart went out of business, and Vicky's saying, "Do you guys still have Kmart's?" I haven't seen a Kmart in forever. Does Kmart still exist?
I'm trying to remember. I haven't been at that part of Gastonia in a while.
Uh huh.
Um, so I don't. For those of you in the chat room, the biggest city. I'm in a small town, and the biggest city in the county is Gastonia. So those of us who have lived here a long time, people who first move here because we live towards the county line, people who first move here from out of state, they go the other direction and go to the big city, Charlotte, which you may have heard of, because that's like proper big city, has an NBA team and a football team and stuff like that. But the biggest city in the county is Gastonia, and that's where most of the people who have lived here a long time go, because most of the people who have lived here, like my husband's aunties and stuff, they're too afraid to drive in the big city. So
Ooh,
they
sounds like me.
go
Driving in
in
Nashville is scary.
they go in county. So Gastonia. And I haven't been, but the longer we live here, because we used to live in Gastonia, but now we live in this small town near Charlotte. And the longer we live here, because my husband also works in Charlotte, the more likely we are to go in that direction. So I haven't been to Gastonia in a while to see if that Kmart is still there. I know it was there 5 years ago, maybe. But I know a
That's a
lot
lot.
of the Kmart's been
Definitely a good
closing
bit of
down.
time that a Kmart could have closed.
Yeah, I know. I know a lot of the Kmart's closed down when Sears bought them. Um, according, oh no, Google says it's permanently closed. The one that was on Franklin, it's closed. So
Let's pour one out for Kmart.
I don't know how long ago it closed, but
All right, I am trying to
I don't
reopen Chrome on the laptop.
I leave the house so seldomly because I don't drive, so I don't leave the house a lot. So when we do leave the house, we usually, like I said, are not going Gastonia way. We're heading Charlotte way. So when we do head to Gastonia, I'm like, oh, when did they build that? And oh, when did they tear that down? And oh, what is this over here? And oh, Gastonia just looks like a whole different place when I go back.
Yeah, it looks way
But
different when I go back. Also, I stay away for like months at a time. But
exactly,
man,
exactly.
every
You
time we were
probably
down
stay
there, I
away
was
for
like,
even
"What
longer
is
than
all
that.
this nonsense?"
And Vicky says that the Walmart in her town has a horrible yarn selection. I used to be able to rely on Walmart to go if I needed to pick up some Red Heart for something, because Red Heart is a no dye lot yarn. So I
Mhm.
just feel like, oh, well, I'll just pick up two skeins of this right now, and then if I need more, I'll run back up and buy more because I'm not used to. Excuse me. It may sound crazy, but like your average Afghan that you make will probably take about $50 to $60 of yarn if you're crocheting it.
Ugh.
But I don't ever feel that because I buy the yarn like $5 or $10 at a time.
Mm.
So if I had to buy all the yarn for the Afghan at once, I'd have a heart attack because I'm not used to laying out that much money. And I feel like a blanket should not cost that much when you can go to Walmart and get some cheap ass blanket for, $10, $15.
That's how I feel every time I have to stock up on craft supplies. So anytime I buy more henna, I usually have to buy it $30 at a time. If I buy wire, the minimum that they will sell it to you on the site is $30. So I usually end up buying $30 to $50 worth of wire, and it lasts me a long time. But man, when I run out and have to restock, I'm like,
It is
oh
painful.
no.
It
That's
is
why I don't have any
painful.
wire right now. Like I have henna because I need henna because that's the main part of my business, but I don't have any wire. I've got the wire that my friend sent me, but I don't want to use all that up because I don't have the money to buy more colored wire. So why are you making this face at me?
Okay,
Why are
remember
you doing
what
this?
you said about me last week being all up in the camera like this?
It's because I'm on my phone. And it's a lot easier to hold my phone closer to my face than to hold it all the way back here because I feel weird doing this. Well, I don't know. It's not that weird, I guess. But
Are
I'm
those your new
propping.
glasses?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, these are my new frames.
we're getting off topic. This is not Sanders After Dark.
It's your fault. I
Now
do
you have.
so while I'm waiting for Google Chrome to come up, I have put little buggy, I think I'm gonna name him Carlos. I've put not Carlos, I think I'm gonna call him Charles. I've put little Charles in the jar and I'm just gonna do a little 360 of him in the jar. I think I picked a
I
fairly
think that
good.
turned out well.
Yeah, I think I picked a pretty good angle for him to sit at, considering I don't have any tweezers and I had to move him around with the pipette. But I love the pipette. But I think I put him at a pretty good angle, and he's about halfway up in the jar. So do you think that looks fairly okay? I still have some
I
bubbles
think
to get
that
out of
looks
there.
good. I think that looks
Okay.
good.
I wanted to try to move because his little stinger is curled up into his body, and I wanted to try to stretch him out, but I don't have any. Get away, Nat! I don't have any. If I had tweezers, like long tweezers, I would be able to move his legs to stretch them out and move his bum to stretch out, but I don't have tweezers to do that. So he's just gonna stay. But I think it turned out fairly okay for just having a little squeezy. Let's see. Ooh, oh, are you still there? It feels like we're breaking up.
Like it.
All right. Okay. I
I'm
was gonna
still
read
here.
the chat unless that's
I'm
what you
still
were
here.
about to do.
I was about to read the chat.
Go ahead. I'm trying to bring up the thing.
How about you stay still and I read the chat
Okay.
until you get a little less glitchy. Okay, she said that she bought some yarn for her husband's blanket and thought that she bought enough for it, but she didn't. So she had to go back and buy 5 more skeins. She
Oh
bought it from
Lord.
Hirschner's. I haven't bought any yarn from Hirschner's in a long time. I'm trying to remember if I ever bought yarn from Hirschner's. I don't think I ever bought yarn from Hirschner's. I know I bought something from Hirschner's because I used to
And
get the
after I did
catalog
that,
for
I need
ages.
explaining
So
me
I think
what
I
the heck
bought
are cheeses.
back when I was flirting with the idea of doing plastic canvas. I think I did a plastic canvas. Oh, okay, Dopey.
I'm trying to hang up. Okay. Are we good? Are we in the clear?
Yeah.
Oh, echoing to infinity. Sorry. I switched back over to the laptop so I could actually use my hands instead of having to hold my phone. Whew.
Yeah, you need a laptop.
Well, I have two, both of which don't work.
Yeah, you need a real laptop. But we're not going to talk about that right now. Um, so, do you have anything else crafty that you want to show?
Um, no, all I had was glitter and bugs.
Okay, well, I wanted to run this idea past you
Okay.
that happened just because I feel like since this is supposed to be Saturday stitching, I should show something related to yarn. So,
Mm.
I stop that. Stop that.
So
I'm looking.
formal.
I'm looking at Instagram to see Nightingale's poncho because I think I saw it, but I'm not 100% sure. I think it was a
I may have seen it, but I also have not been very active on Instagram lately, so I may have missed it. I
okay.
feel like I remember seeing a poncho, but it may not be the one she's talking about. It may be an older one.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering if she put up a newer poncho because I did see the one the virus. I think it was the virus poncho.
Yeah, because I remember us talking about that one.
Okay, where? Why is she not showing up on my?
What in the world?
What in the what? What's the matter?
I got a hair in this hand sanitizer.
How did you do that?
I don't know, because I have dog hair and boyfriend hair everywhere in my house.
Ew, boyfriend hair.
Man, his hairs, they'll stick to my jacket, and I'll go to work, and then all of a sudden I'll look over because I'll feel something on my arm, and I'll look over. This is long ass hair attached to like my shirt or my jacket or something. I'm like, at least people won't blame me for this. They know my hair doesn't look like this.
But still, you don't want hair in projects that you're gonna.
I know I had to suck it out of I had to suck it out of the hand sanitizer. Nightingale said her Instagram name is Nightingale_crochet.
Okay. Well, I subscribe to her, so I do not know why it's not coming up, and I keep forgetting how to
How to spell Nightingale?
know how to find a list of everybody I subscribe to. That's
The
not
list
coming
doesn't
up.
really help anyway because it's not alphabetical.
Well, I don't subscribe to a bunch of people.
Oh, I'm subscribed to like 300,
Well, see, I'm not you,
but I also have a business.
and I don't. What? I think maybe because I know that you don't get all the options if you look at it on your desktop rather than your phone.
Oh, you think that might be what it is?
And so I think it's just not wanting me to see stuff because it's saying, hey, get off of here and get on your phone. But my phone is charging. And I've got my old phone right here, my
Hmm.
old tiny phone.
Ooh, speaking of old phones, I need to, once we get into after other than crafting, there's something I want to talk to you about.
Adding it to the list, which after I show this last thing, we're going to get off of here and go into the other because we really don't have a lot of crafting stuff. So let me just run this by you since I can't seem to find what I am looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Nightingale says if you click on your picture and it'll bring up an area for who you are following.
and it normally does that on the phone, but it doesn't seem to like me on my computer.
I don't know where all this cloudy stuff is coming from with this hand sanitizer. I don't see anything starting to cloud up around the wasp, which is good. But like anytime I start to put new pumps in there, all of a sudden something gets cloudy, and I'm like, what? I'm thinking maybe something got into the bottle, or like into the main hand sanitizer bottle or something. And then as I'm pumping it out, that it's putting the stuff in there, or maybe it doesn't like plastic or something, and the nozzle is plastic. I don't know. But I am pretty stoked about this. Pretty how did the Brits say? Pretty chuffed. Let's show it now that I'm on the not so glitchy camera.
Yeah, that looks good. That looks good. I mean, if a dead bug in a bottle can look good,
If that's your thing or whatever.
yeah, if that's your thing or whatever.
And I've got like it's crystal clear. I've got like maybe a few micro bubbles in there, but it's like, oh, there's one more that I need to get out. But it is like so clear.
Well, apparently I follow more people than I thought.
Hmm.
I follow like 100 and some.
Oh, Nightingale says, wow, cool. Thank you, Nightingale. Now to put the lid on, which will be a messy process because you have to overfill it so there's not an air bubble at the top. So I have to fill it all the way up and then put the cork on, and it'll squirt out extra hand sanitizer that I then have to clean up.
Well, that sounds messy.
Yep, it looks like it's about to be real messy.
Why?
All right, well, while she's doing that, let's watch me get hand sanitizer everywhere.
Well, yes, that's what we're watching you do.
Nightingale says, at least it's just hand sanitizer. That's good, but I am doing this over a laptop.
At least it's not dye or paint or.
I'm used to that because I work with henna, so I get henna like everywhere. It tends to leak out on my hands and stuff.
There. I was spelling nightingale wrong.
Oh, I knew it. I called it earlier.
Okay, is this a different poncho than the? It looks like the same pattern, different yarn.
Yeah,
This one is virus poncho.
she said she said earlier in the chat, I did put up a new one. It's another virus poncho.
In Lion Brand next best thing. I don't think I know that yarn.
What the hell?
Language, young lady.
Okay, so before you put that up on the screen, you saw how crystal clear this jar was a second ago. I put the lid on. Look at that. Where did these two bubbles come from?
Oh.
What on earth?
Oh, they almost look like earrings on the bug, but
I don't know. And I see another one too. I'm wondering if maybe when I put because there was pressure with the hand sanitizer, maybe it forced the bubbles out of the bug or something. But now I've got to take this lid back off again.
Your life is so hard. I'm gonna show you this poncho.
You're good. I'm just wondering what the heck happened.
Do you see the poncho?
Ooh, yes. I feel like maybe I should start wearing more ponchos in the winter. That's what I think every time I see ponchos.
You strike me as a poncho wearer.
I've got one poncho.
I would make a poncho, but I don't wear ponchos. I have one poncho that I own two ponchos because, and I think your father gave me both of them. Either that or your father gave me one and your Aunt Terry gave me one she got at a yard sale. Your father bought me one. But see, and both of them, part of the reason I'm going to switch this off.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Stop screen sharing. You've probably seen me on the video wear this during the winter months when it was still cold.
Mm-hmm.
But see, just a basic gray poncho, V-neck poncho that he bought at Walmart, I'm pretty sure. Faded Glory, which used to be a Kmart brand, I think.
Anyway, back to Kmart. It all comes back to Kmart.
But I wear this around the house when I'm cold but I don't like wearing ponchos out because I think we've discussed this before. It's an issue of temperature control. Like when you're going places, like when you go shopping or whatever. Oop, and I lost her again. But while I was saying, let me try calling her again while we talk here, ladies. Um, I don't wear ponchos when I go out because, well, she's found a way to jump back in herself. Um, oh, so you found me on IG, Vicky? That's cool. That's cool. Oh, so you made the poncho for somebody else. Oh Lord, you can see me scrunching my face up. This is why I don't like to read the chat on video because y'all can see how badly I cannot see.
Well, I would read it if
And
you
this is
would
causing me
get
headaches, all the scrunching. I told my husband we have to go and get my eyes re-examined because
or get you a magnifying
I
glass.
can't live with this anymore. I put it off for a while because never mind, we'll talk about that later.
Make sure
And
you have your
Sanders
glasses.
gone wild.
All right, here we go. Take two of me trying to read
Okay.
on here.
If you're talking, I can't hear you, baby.
You can't hear me?
There's no sound.
You can't hear me?
No, cannot hear you.
Um, what about now? No?
Still can't hear you. Okay, I just heard some static. Are you back now? No, can't hear you. Okay, so you made it for your husband's home health nurse. Oh, I didn't realize your husband had a home health nurse. I didn't realize that your husband was at home. She made it for her sister's birthday in July. Yeah, ponchos are one of those things where I like the idea of a poncho as something fun to make, but I would not wear it because of the temperature control issue where I'm going back and forth, still can't hear you, baby. We're going back and forth to places like I leave the house and the poncho is fine. Then I go in the store and then I get hot and I feel like I want to take the poncho off, or you go in somebody's house and I get warmer because they have the heat going. So I feel like I want to take the poncho off, but then pulling it over my head will mess up my hair. So I just don't like fooling with that. I cannot hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Okay, wait a minute.
yes.
Okay, okay, scream.
Ah,
See, I can hear that.
Okay, hang on. Can you hear me?
Yes, but if you've got volume, you need to go up some more.
I have nothing that can turn up volume. I'll just talk real loud.
Okay.
I don't know why you couldn't hear me. I don't understand.
I think I couldn't hear you because you were talking at a normal volume. As soon as you started talking louder, I could hear you.
Okay, well, I'll keep talking loud as I try to put the cork on this bug again. Continue talking about what you're talking.
Coming home scallop edge poncho. I'll have to take a look at that, Vicky. Oh my goodness. If you can give Nightingale, if you can give your husband his shot, more power to you. When I was on a medication that required shots, my husband would not give me the shot.
Ugh.
When we were going through fertility treatments trying to get pregnant with that one playing with bugs, he would give me he gave me the shot a couple times, but I also worked in a medical facility, so there were nurses who would take turns giving me the shot, so he didn't have to do it that often. And then several years ago when I first got my it was about 7 years ago, 7, 8 years ago, when I first got my MS diagnosis, my doctor at the time, I'm not under medical care at the moment because of insurance issues and finances and stuff. But I had a neurologist at the time, and he put me immediately on a medication that was administered 3 times a week with a needle.
I remember that.
And at first I just got the because I didn't want to pay for the auto injector or go to the trouble to get the auto injector. So I said, "Oh, I can just do the needle. It'll be fine." And it's not that it hurt terribly much. I mean, I've had bee stings that hurt worse than this shot, but the fact that I had to do it freaked me out so much that I would sit in the bathroom and
Have
just
to psych
like
yourself
sit with
up.
the needle in my hand and go, okay, I'm going to do it. Okay, I'm going to do it. Okay, I'm gonna do it. And sometimes I'd be in there for 30 minutes before I did it. And I think part of it was the shot itself, but part of it was also the it had an after effect. So like for like an hour and a half after I took the shot, I felt like I had the flu. I mean, like bad flu. You know how sometimes people say they have the flu and they've got a cough and some sniffles and stuff. I'm talking full on chills and shakes, and my whole body ached, and I felt like I couldn't move and stuff like that for like hour and a half after the shot every time.
Let's
But
see.
I sometimes a couple times I got my kids to give it to me, but then I felt like, well, it's not fair for them to do it. And my husband flat out wouldn't do it. He said, if this is what you've got to do for your life, you need to figure out how to do it yourself. Which part of me feels like if you love me, you would give me this shot.
In the
But
chat,
I see where he was coming from of you're a grown ass woman. Suck it up and give yourself the shot.
in the chat, Nightingale says he can give it to himself, and we're going through the same with our daughter. And Vicky says yes, that would be hard. I don't think
So
I
your
could give
daughter
myself
has
a
a
shot.
medication that she has to give herself shots to? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I don't think I would be able to give myself a shot. Like I can't even watch videos of people like there are videos on YouTube of people giving themselves stick and poke tattoos, and I'm like, no.
Oh no. 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 But that's another part of the reason why I would never get a tattoo. Because
Well,
I don't.
getting a tattoo from a professional isn't that bad because I have my one, and it did hurt. I would go through it again because I like my tattoo. It did hurt, but it's more like a constant low pain as opposed to prick.
Kind of like when you have your period.
Yes. Yes, if you have your period and have like some pretty bad cramps, I would say it's like that but on your well for me on my wrist. So it was
Mm.
like a constant low dull like this is here but like I was having a conversation with my friend mostly to distract myself from the fact that it hurt and the fact that I can't look at it because it would make me freak out. And so I had a napkin with lavender on it to help calm me down, and I was like fanning myself with the napkin to try to ignore the fact that my wrist was hurting because she was tattooing me. But I wouldn't be able to give myself a stick and poke. I don't think I'd be able to get a stick and poke at any point because it's like instead of the gun doing a bunch of pricks at once and just like a continuous motion, it's prick,
Yeah, I've
prick,
seen them.
prick, prick. And I'm like, no,
Mm-mm.
no, no. I need you to go a lot faster than that because I need this to be over. Oh, this is the third go round of putting the lid on and a bubble comes out of this bug. I think maybe I should have let them soak in the sanitizer longer,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't feel like waiting a week because my bottles came in today. So I think oh no. Well, that's not good. I don't want to add more bubbles. I
So
think
in the chat room, Nightingale says that her husband and daughter both have the same medication that they have to have via shots. So your husband is not homebound. It's just that you have a visiting nurse come to give the shots. That's cool. That's cool. I think the only time I've ever experienced a home health nurse was when I was pregnant with my twins and I had to be on an IV because I was so sick. And that was during the heyday of insurance companies saying, "Okay, we need to get you out of the hospital as soon as possible."
hmm,
So you're in the hospital for one day, you need to be on this IV, but you know what? You can be on this IV at home. You don't need to be sitting up in here. So we're just gonna send you home. Whereas 30, 35 years ago, they would have kept you in the hospital the
yeah.
whole time with that IV. But then in the 90s, they went through a period of, oh no, you don't need to be in the hospital because the insurance company does not want to pay for it. So let's, boot to the head, get you out of here and go home and do as much as you can in your home. So I was laying in my living room with an IV on a stick,
Ugh.
and a home health nurse came to make sure that I was doing it right. It was weird.
Nightingale says it's all about money.
Yep, all about the Benjamins, as the kids say.
I don't think the kids actually
Okay,
say that
so
anymore.
this last thing, because we're supposed to be talking about crafty stuff and then taking the rest of this conversation to the other video. So, and my video window insists that I started streaming 11 minutes ago, but we know that's not true.
Probably because I joined in again 11 minutes ago.
No, it's been saying 11 minutes for the past 45 minutes. So it's about time for us to wrap this up since my time, because I started the timer when I first saw that it said 11 minutes, but I knew we'd been going a little longer than that.
Yeah.
But anyway, I've got this yarn that's a
Mhm.
good 20 years old at least, that I've been talking about trying to find stuff to do with your, yeah, Nightingale squirrel. Um, Trying to find stuff to do. Okay, she's saying 94 minutes. Yikes, we need to
Oh
get
my
off of
word.
here. Um, I've been trying to find something to do. This is a yarn that was given to me, like I said, back in the 90s when I first discovered online knitting community. I also discovered online, like, not exactly a yarn swap, but somebody would be like, "Oh, I've got a bag of oddball yarns and I want to get them out of my house. I'll sell them to you for $10.
Mhm.
I have no idea what's in this bag. Here, take them." And since we live where we live, and all I had was Walmart, although back in the 90s, I don't think we even had a Walmart yet. Because I don't think that Franklin Square shopping center had been built yet, where the Walmart and the Michaels are. So I can't remember where I got my yarn back then. But so I participated in a few of these buy an oddball, and
Mhm.
then and until I got a bunch of junk that, and the majority of that yarn is still sitting. I gave some of it
Mhm.
away to your elementary school and your middle school when they needed yarn for stuff. I'm like, here, take this.
Mhm.
The art class can figure out something to do with this. But I still have some of it because some of it was like I thought I was gonna do something with it.
Oh my word.
See my fancy project bag.
You have so many balls of that yarn though.
What?
You have so many balls of that yarn though.
No, it's really not that much.
Oh, it looked like a lot because you had the one. And I was like, oh, she's got one skein of this yarn, and then you had
Okay.
like 5 in your
This
hand.
this is a partial. This is a partial.
Mhm.
This is a partial.
Mhm.
This is a partial.
That's a lot of partials though.
And then this is where I started trying to make something for your sister.
Mhm.
Can't remember what now at this point. Although, judging by the shape of it, it was probably a sweater back.
Sister 1 or sister 2?
Sister two. And
Okay.
judging from the side, and see here, you got the him down there.
Yeah.
Judging from the size of it, it was probably when she was in elementary school. And I don't know what I thought I was doing here, but I'm pretty sure this is crochet.
Oh, time out for just a sec. Nightingale says, well, I gotta go. I'll be live tonight around 9. Happy yarning, ladies. Ooh. I'll try to catch
Okay,
her later
well,
then.
see you later, Nightingale.
Yeah, I'll definitely try to catch her because oh, we're gaming tonight. Shoot.
That's right, you are gaming tonight.
If we weren't gaming, I'd catch her. If she puts it up though, I'll watch it again later. Like I'll
Oh
watch
yeah, she
the
always puts it up.
Okay, then I'll watch it later.
So I don't know what this is,
Hmm.
but and I thought this yarn was thicker than it is. Now that I've actually pulled it out of the bag, I may be rethinking my thought.
Mm-hmm.
But my thought was that I would make little Christmas, um, little Christmas stockings
Oh,
to put um, gift cards in.
oh, that's cute. Yeah.
I'm gonna see if I can find. I had saved a pattern on Ravelry, but I don't think I can find it at the moment.
Hmm.
That was shaped like a Christmas stocking. I got the idea from Ella at No Catchy Name. She had made some sort of Christmas stocking, and that made me think, oh yeah, I could do something like that for with. That made me think of the red yarn.
Hmm.
I was actually thinking of another yarn because I had another yarn that I nicknamed Disco Christmas. It had the you see how this yarn has like
The silver
little
bands.
silvery
Yeah.
strands wrapped around it to make it look kind of glittery almost. I'm gonna screen share. So I was going to. Okay,
Ooh,
why?
you're blinking in and out.
I don't know why.
Blinking in and out of existence. Oh, it's solid now. Nope.
Okay, wait a minute.
Seizure warning. That was weird.
If I do the thing presenting to everyone where it stops the video flicking between me and you, and then
Hmm.
I try to do a screen share, then it goes crazy.
That's weird.
So I have to stop one or the other. But these are some of the patterns they have for the gift card cozies. I was thinking
Hmm.
maybe something like this.
Yeah.
You know, here's a knit version. You
Hmm.
know, get some sort of white fuzzy yarn to go at the top.
Yeah.
Um, or something like this, a gift card sock.
I like that one because the red that you have isn't a solid white. I like the sock looking one better. Or a solid red. I mean, it's not because it's not a solid red. Because the other one with the Santa style, I I feel like it wouldn't look as good with the silver like going through it. So I
Yeah.
think the sock would look better.
Yeah, I had another one that I saved that I can't remember where it is.
Hmm.
That was a sock one, but it had the the fluffy stuff at the top.
Yeah.
So it looked more like a Santa boot type thing. But I was that's what I'm thinking of doing with that yarn.
Yeah, I think that would work out.
but but I've got a lot of yarn, so I'd probably be making 50 million of those things.
I
So
mean,
maybe
if
I
you
now that I realize I thought I had less of this yarn, and I thought it was because now that I'm looking at it, I'm gonna stop sharing. But see, now that I'm looking at it, this looks like this. There's no ball bands, and even if there was a ball band, this yarn was before they did the size 1, 2, 3, 4 type situation.
mhm,
Um, so my guess is this is maybe a two,
mhm. And what's the word? What number is the worsted weighted that we normally use?
um, a four.
Okay. So I'm just trying to get a good gist of it.
Yeah, yeah. Worsted is a four. This feels like it's a fingering, which I think is either a one or a two.
Hmm.
So I might not. I don't know what I'm gonna make with this.
I think
Although it
you could
says you
do,
can make this gift card sock with the fingering, so maybe.
yeah, or you could do the thing that you super hate and hold two strands together.
You know I hate that.
But if you
You
make,
know
what I
I
was going to
hate
say
that.
earlier is, since you have so much of it, if you make a bunch of them and use it all up now, because how many gift cards are you going to give out this year? So if you make a bunch of them, give out like 6 or 7 of them in gift cards, and then you'll like put away the rest of them. And this is just not a very flattering look for me when I'm sitting down. This skirt, now that you made my picture big for a second, and I was like, ah. Anyway, if you make a bunch of them, you can give out a few of them this year, and then put them away somewhere. And then next year, you don't have to make a bunch of socks. You can just use them again next year to give out gift cards. And the next year. And the next year. Why do you have the screen on me? I can't hear you. You muted yourself.
I'm trying to figure out why it won't let me show myself. I think
Oh,
I got it straightened out.
yeah.
Okay, we have been on here hella long.
We gotta shut down.
For huh?
We gotta shut down. I need to eat. I still have Asian food over here that I have not touched. That I'm gonna eat
Yeah.
in other than crafting. But I finally got the bubbles to stop coming out. I figured that if I did because I think it was the pressure of forcing the lid on with all of that extra sanitizer there. So after forcing the lid on and taking it off a few times and getting out the bubbles, I think I've got out any bubbles that are going to come out of it. I'm going to keep an eye on it over the next few days. But this is the final result: super crystal clear, no bubbles in it or anything.
Yep.
And
That
I'm
looks
pretty
good.
happy with it. once I get some wire, I'm gonna wire wrap around here so you can wear it as a necklace. I'm gonna do some wire wrapping like around the bottle to kind of
Mhm.
decorate it a little bit. But I'm pretty happy with it. I think this may be one of the ones that Cree gave me though, because looking at it a little bit closer, I can see where his little butt is like split and there's a little bit of bug guts coming out, which is gross.
Ew.
Yeah,
Well,
it's real
I
nasty.
think wrapping it with wire will definitely set it off.
Hmm.
Because right now it's like, oh, it's an interesting kind of bug in a bottle, but wrapping it with wire will kind of turn it into a jewelry item.
Yeah. So I think I've got a little bit of leftover wire that I could use to practice with this first one, but I definitely need to order some more wire because I don't have. I use the base wire that I use most of the time is 20 gauge silver coated copper, and I don't have any of that, and that's like a standard size. 20 gauge is like a real standard size, and then the silver, I always get silver because a lot more people wear silver than gold. So I didn't want to get anything gold coated just yet. So, but I'm completely out of that right now, so I need to order some more.
Okay, well, thank you for the adventures in Dead Bug Land.
Project Dead Bug. I'll get back to you next time I'm doing more interesting things.
Project Dead Bug, whatever. Okay, if I was an editing sort, I would edit this video down, but since I'm not, thank you if you stuck with us this long. Next time I'll do a better job of starting my timer on time so I can be more aware of how long we were doing this video. Because apparently, according to someone in the chat room, we've been doing this for about an hour and a half.
Yeah, I think
So
Nightingale check the timestamp on it.
that was so nice of her. So anyway, thank you for hanging out with us. For whoever's in the live stream, Vicky. For whoever's in the live stream, we're going to take a break for about 15 minutes and start up our Sanders Gone Wild,
Craft is after dark. I think we said that backwards.
otherwise known as Other Than Stitching, where we just hang out and talk because I'm an old lady with no life and my daughter is trying to figure out a way to get me to spend time with her. So so anyway, thank you for hanging out and we'll see you next week for Saturday Stitching. Bye.
Bye.